Hello everyone, this is the mind of Lilith and welcome to another open mind intuitive tarot message. Thank you for joining me today. So today's reading is going to be for Cardi B and Offset, okay? And Cardi B and Offset have been in a very tumultuous relationship or marriage for several years now. They've separated before, but Cardi B, I think, filed for separation sometime last year when she was pregnant with their third child. As I was meditating on this couple, I heard the song It's My House by Diana Ross. And this song was on an album called The Boss, which came out in 1978 or 79, something like that. And the premise of the song is a woman whose life is beautiful and peaceful, whose home is beautiful and peaceful, because she has found love and peace and beauty within herself. So her abode or her living situation was a reflection of the peace she had within herself, right? One of the lines of the song is, if you want to move in with me, you got to play by the rules to get me. So Cardi B may be in her boss energy right now. She may be feeling empowered, even though she's not, in an ideal situation according to her. The separation and or divorce has not cost her anything that she really values. And both Cardi B and Offset have Venus in Scorpio. And so Venus in Scorpio, you usually value power, money, and or sex, or you value things that will give you power. I think in Offset's case, he valued sex. And for him, sex was a source of power. For Cardi B, money was a source of power, okay? So if Cardi B still has her money, and she can use her money to give her children a good life, and also live a good life, I think she's okay. Doesn't mean that she's, happy with the separation or divorce. I think she would have wanted it to be different, but this is kind of like the best case scenario for her. And I think Offset is going after her money because he knows how much she values her money. And she doesn't value money because she's materialistic, but because money gives her the power to walk away from a situation that is not conducive to her overall well-being. So in astrology, Venus is the planet of balance, harmony, and beauty, but also the planet of exchanges. What are you willing to exchange for what you value? With Venus in Scorpio, you're usually going to exchange money and or sex for power. And Cardi B used to be a sex worker, so she exchanged her body, her sex, for money, which gave her power. So essentially, Offset, she married a man who was like the clients that she would service as a stripper or a sex worker. She ended up marrying the type of man who would service a sex worker, which is ironic, but that's just the way it goes. So with Venus in Scorpio, typically, marriage or really close, intimate relationships become tumultuous because of money, sexual betrayal, and power, right? With Melody from Love Marriage Huntsville, who also has Venus in Scorpio, her husband was financing his mistress using her money. Even though, they had mutual joint assets, he was still using her hard work to take care of another woman and have sex with other women. So Melody had to basically get her power back by sacrificing something she valued, which was marriage and a nuclear family. And so, yeah, Cardi B is in the same space, but I think for her, she realized that she could be worse off because now she doesn't have to put up with abuse and disrespect, and her husband may be using her money to take care of other women behind her back, right? She's financing her husband's disrespect. With Offset, he had to sacrifice sexual access to women to be with Cardi B, and Cardi B had to sacrifice potentially her, if she stayed married to him, she would have to sacrifice her personal power to keep him happy. And so this would mean her sacrificing her ego. her own personal power by way of like her money. And this relationship may cost her some money because she does have Venus in Scorpio square Saturn in Aquarius. So yeah, we'll see. Spirit guides, what is going on with Cardi B and Offset? Cardi B's real name is Belcalis Almazar, and Offset's real name is Kiari Cephas. How does this couple currently feel about each other at this time? How does Cardi B, what is the current energy between Belcalis, Cardi B, and Kiari Cephas Offset? What is the current energies between this couple? What is the current state of relationship? What is happening with them now? What is the current status of the relationship? The cards are feeling sticky or stuck. There's still lingering feelings. With Venus and Scorpio, you know, the relationships don't end peacefully. They usually die a painful death, typically. So we have distance, separation, space, blockage, silence, intimacy. So yeah, I'll just take these 3 for now. I'm not taking 15 cards out. Depth, trapped, and open heart. Okay, intimacy and open heart. Distance, depth, trapped, intimacy, bonding, sensual. And Venus in Scorpio is sort of like a trapped energy, like trapped by a spider in a web. We do have a spider in a web here. It's an arachnid. So, silence and trapped. Distance, depth, intimacy, open heart. Bonding, sensual, confiding, receptive, empathy, vulnerable. So there's, This is not an easy breakup. It's not cut and dry or hot and cold. This situation is, it's almost like they're still connected energetically and psychologically. They're just separated physically. But there's still a happening beneath the surface. There are still some mind games or power plays being done behind the scenes as a way to manipulate the other person, to teach them a lesson. It's almost like they're taking a break, or there's a separation, like a testing period to see what the other person does when they're not with the other person. So it's like, I'm still keeping my eye on you while I'm dating somebody else, or while we're not together. I'm keeping my eye on you to see if the separation will change your behavior or make you see things differently. They're still watching each other from a distance, or she's watching him or he's watching her, to see if this is a test. Like, if you really loved me, you would not do this to me, even if we're not together. They're testing each other, or he's testing her, or she's testing him. So beneath the surface, they may be with other people, or they're not talking to each other, but they're both watching each other to make sure that no lines are crossed, or like this isn't really, really over. So, for example, Cardi B is now dating people, and I think Offset is too. If Cardi B, for example, starts dating someone that he's cool with, or he has animosity towards, or whatever his ops, then he'll know that she's trying to hurt him and it's really over. It's like they're still controlling each other. Venus and Scorpio conjunct Pluto and Scorpio. They're still controlling each other behind the scenes with other people, but they're not saying it. They could be spying on each other's accounts. They could be using other people to spy on them, like what Martell was doing with Melody. They could be using their friends to spy on each other, right? If they have mutual friends or family, they could be asking about, well, what is he doing, or who is she with, or what is she talking about? Like, but they're not talking to each other, but they are. Energetically and mentally, they're still in communication. It's just not physically right now. But they're keeping an eye on each other to make sure that they don't step out of line. right? They're trying to see if it's really over. I think they're both doing this. That's why I couldn't catch it in the beginning. It's like a lot is happening beneath the surface. But if you were to see them in person together, you wouldn't think that. You would think that they were done or F you, whatever. But beneath the surface, they're still trying to manipulate, control, or spy on each other to make sure that, I don't know, there's still a chance for reconciliation. How does Cardi B, Belcalis, feel about Offset, Kiari? How does Cardi B currently feel about Offset? Ooh, this one come out. Withdrawn, realizations, pain, sorrow. Okay. Single, lonely, solitary. Epiphanies, understandings, awakenings, apprehensive, afraid, cautious, lost, grief, depression. Right? Healing. Yes, she is. It's my house. Releasing, purifying, cleansing. Again, releasing, letting go, moving on, walking away. Commitment, marriage, promises, fidelity, releasing your commitment. And divine feminine. It's my house and I live here. I'm the boss. This is, and Melody went through the same thing when she divorced Martell. She was in a lot of pain, but for her, losing her power was more painful than whatever she was experiencing from this divorce. All right, how does Kiari Offset feel about his estranged wife, Cardi B, Belcalis? Confusion, emotional storm, right? Turmoils, unstable, affected, uncertain, unclear, unsure. Exactly. Escaping, avoiding, blocking, pushing away his emotions, and rejection. Abandoned, dismissed, irrational fear. So there's still some energy between them. It's not over. This is not a clear break. It's not a, what you call it, a clean cut. There's still some jagged edges here. Did they play that stupid song, Let's Get Married by Jagged Edge, at their wedding? Meet me at the altar in your white dress. We ain't getting no younger. We might as well do it. I hate that song with a passion. I don't know if they did, but Jagged Edge, Jagged Edges. Yeah, this is Jagged Edges. It's not simple for either of them. There's still emotions here, but she may realize that in order for her to step into her power, she has to walk away from this. But I think she wishes things were different. And I honestly, I think that if he showed, and he gave in the indication that he was really trying to change, that she would welcome him back. But I think his ego is still involved in this. He's not he's confused about what he wants or what's going on here. Turmoil. He's going through his own stuff. I think Takeoff was his cousin. He's going through that too. It's a lot. He's going through a lot right now himself. So not only is he going through the loss of his wife, but also the loss of Takeoff. Either that was his cousin or friend, but so he has to heal too. That's why I mentioned distance and intimacy. There's still intimacy with this distance. It's like, I'm going to give you space so you can heal from this situation. So you can heal, and deal with whatever you got going on. It's like it's almost like I don't know. She could have felt like she was hindering his healing by being with him, or vice versa, or both ways. Like, I don't know, the relationship dynamic was toxic in a sense that it was preventing them from healing individually from whatever they have going on outside of the relationship or from their own childhood trauma. Sorrow, pain, realizations, withdrawn. She has to do this for herself to take her power back. I think whatever emotional storm he's going through is not just because of her. He may have started to push her away. Like, things got worse after his cousin died, I think. Or Takeoff. I don't know who he was to him. But after Takeoff died, he started to do things perhaps that pushed her away, it was hurting her to stay with him. Commitment, divine feminine. She's committing to herself or recommitting to herself. Because he's not in his mind, he's not in his masculine energy. He's a mess right now. He's not just a mess because of her, the divorce. It's because of the loss of his cousin or Takeoff. I don't know who he was to him, but Takeoff's death really messed with him. It seems like he wants to escape and avoid his feelings. This is, what am I getting? This is torment. He's haunted by this. He needs to go to therapy. He sabotaged his relationship. He began to self-destruct once Takeoff passed away or something traumatic happened to him. Even beyond that, I don't know too much about his situation, but he's tormented by a loss. And he's doing things to self-medicate. And the things he's doing to self-medicate is destructive to the relationship and to himself. So she has to walk away because she loves him and because she loves herself. Loss, grief, and depression. Apprehensive, afraid, and cautious. Epiphanies, understandings, awakenings. I think she realizes that she can't help him heal, or she can't heal for him. She can only do what she can, but if he's not willing to work on himself, she's only hurting herself. So she realized she had, in order for her to love him, she had to love herself enough to walk away from this. Kind of like what Melody did with Martell. Martell is a disturbed individual. He went through a lot of distress during the divorce that he caused, but Melody could not let that, let his distress manipulate her into staying with his abusive, with his abuse. So she had to love herself enough to see him in pain. She may be the kind of person, with Cardi B, that tries to save her partner from pain or to protect him from pain. A lot of women do this. Protect her partner from experiencing pain in some way. Fix it. She's maybe trying to fix her husband or to fix his issues. She can't fix those problems, and she's realizing that now. He has deeper issues that he has to choose to fix within himself before she can do anything. He's closed off right now. But there's still love here. It's just that he is going through some sort of emotional torment, and the confusion is not necessarily about her and the marriage. It's not that. He may be confused about as to why he's pushing her away, or how to move forward with this. But Cardi B has to save herself. She's saving herself by leaving this alone. But at the same time, she knows why her husband is in distress. She knows why he's suffering. And she may have wanted to help him through that process. I think Takeoff died 3 years ago, something like that. He may still be in grief. This could be his grief and his sorrow that she's internalized and tried to help him heal. So here we have loss, grief, and depression, an emotional storm here. I think she internalized his grief and tried to fix it for him. He wouldn't let her do it. He maybe became more abusive or self-destructive and started to do things to compromise the integrity of the relationship because he was kind of crashing out. He may have cheated to feel empowered or to feel, I don't know, better about himself or to self-medicate. A lot of men are dumb, so they use sex to feel better about themselves. Rejection and escaping. He turned away from her emotionally, but not because he doesn't love her. I think the trauma and the pain of losing his old group mate, Takeoff, it had like a cascading effect, a domino effect. And he's not sure what he wants to do with himself or his life. He's lost. And she's trying to help him to regain himself in some way. And she was committed to this, but she's realizing that he has to do the work on his own and she can't save him. She's going to drown with him if she doesn't create some distance between them. So they're not speaking to each other, but they still have an intimate connection on an emotional and mental level. She knows what he's been through. They probably had some really deep conversations about his pain and whatever else, and they've trauma bonded. But it's almost like being married to an addict or a person with mental illness. At some point, you have to walk away to save yourself. So now she feels at peace, not because she's happy that her husband's upset and, she's happy with the separation. It's not that. Her home is now more peaceful. She's now more present for her children. She's kind of wiped her hands of this energetically, but she still cares about him. There's an intimate connection between them, mentally and emotionally, with Venus and Scorpio, conjunct Pluto. A very deep connection. It's not just about the sex part. I don't think she split up with him because of that. I think is that on top of his depression that she's internalized, the pain that she's internalized. It's like he transferred it to her, or she was like, give it to me, I'll deal with it. It wasn't enough. He was bringing her down energetically. Like he was bringing down her energy, and she had to walk away to save herself from this crash out situation. And he's confused because he's not self-aware. He lacks self-awareness as far as like why this happened, why she walked away, or I don't know. He may have thought that she would never leave him. He took her for granted. He doesn't see himself clearly. He's not seeing how he contributed to this falling apart. He's not seeing it. He's kind of like I don't want to say in hell, but he's extremely depressed. Turmoil, unstable, affected. He's very depressed. It's almost like some sort of portal, or in a very deep state of pain. This is grief. This is grief. I think this is his grief with Cardi B. She sees that he's in grief, and she realizes that she has to release this to heal herself and give him the space to heal himself too. They can't do it together because it's too toxic. It's almost like she is a crutch for him, and if she has all this money, right, he can use her money to finance his own self-destruction. I don't know what that looks like. It could be addictions, it could be cheating, it could be spending stuff, I don't know. But just like with Melody and Martell, Melody realized that her being married to Martell, it made it easier for him to avoid working on his own issues, because he could hide behind her success and hide behind her beauty and her power, right? And use her money, beauty, and power and whatever. Use her gifts to feed his dysfunctions, feed his bad behavior. So I have a personality disorder, but I'm married to a beautiful trophy, so you won't be able to see that. You're going to judge me off based on who I'm married to, not who I am as a person. So it's almost like Cardi B realized that she was protecting her husband, or she was stopping her husband from doing the hard work of finding out what his real issues are. She was a crutch for him. She was making it easier for him to escape the responsibility of addressing his issues, because she could use her money to, like, make him feel better, or like what Martell was doing with Ariana. He was using her money to pay for a mistress who was making him feel better about himself because he had self-esteem issues. So I can use her money to live a lifestyle that makes it easier for me to run away from the pain that I'm experiencing now. She had to almost like remove her energy from him. She had to remove herself from him energetically. He was using her energy to empower himself to be more self-destructive. So she had to walk away to save herself and him. I think Tashira Simmons, DMX's first wife, she was doing the same thing. She realized she had to walk away from him to make it harder for him to use her as a crutch. He had to do the work to fix himself and not hide behind her or not use her as a scapegoat for his issues. So she had to get into her feminine. It's my house. I'm the boss, right? I'm protecting myself, my peace, my home, my money, my children, my power by walking away from this commitment. And I'm healing myself. I think she realized that staying married to him or staying in his vicinity, giving him her energy was not helping the situation. It was actually disempowering her and him because he was using her as a crutch in some way to avoid doing important work on himself, to avoid healing. He didn't want to heal from whatever this was, or he's trying to run away from it. And she was making it easier for him to do that because she was very, she would console him. She would try to give him affection, and they would spend money and try to have fun. And it wasn't working. It was spiraling out of control. Like she was feeding his demons unintentionally. So she had to walk away. Spirit guides, please continue this message. Let's find out about Cardi B and Offset. Past, present, and future. 3-card reading, please. 3-card reading. 1 card for the past, 1 card for the present, 1 card for the future. Of their relationship over the next 12 months. Spirit guides, what's happening with these 2 people? Okay, what's going on with this couple in the past? What was happening between Cardi B and Offset in the past? What was the dynamic of their relationship in the past? How did it get to where they are now? 1 card, please. The past. 8 of Wands. Lots of communication. I'm getting no peace. This is like constant activity, talking and arguing, and there's no water here. It's passion, anger, and fighting, and just constant activity. There's no peace. Magician card. This is manifestation, empowerment, really productive energy in the past. They were able to build some things together, or were they using social media to manipulate people? Using communication to manipulate people? Bringing attention to the relationship via social media, 8 of Wands, like texting, videos, and using it to manipulate people. Did I hear that somewhere? People didn't believe that Cardi B has separated from Offset because in the past she said that they weren't together anymore. I think they're separated for real now. With distance and silence and trapped and withdrawn, they are separated. But I think in the past they may have used social media to manipulate people to get more attention. I'll find out what was that about. Currently, where are Offset and Cardi B in their relationship? Belcalis and Kiari. Where are they currently in their relationship? Spirit guides, where are Cardi B and Offset currently in their relationship, please? Where do they stand currently? Where do they stand currently? I just want 1 card, please. The World card popped out, but Where do they stand currently? Where do Cardi B and Kiari stand? Two of Wands reverse. No new beginnings. 8 to the 2, the 6 Wands, but also 10 of Wands. Putting down burdens. We're not, this is, so the energy that was invested in this relationship, they've taken a step back. The 2 of Wands represents a new project, a new idea. And the first steps towards facilitating that stopped. Whatever business plans they had, relationship plans they had, that's kind of stopped for now. A burden's been put down. And we all know about it. 6 of Wands. The King of Swords. Yep. Cold cut. Aquarius. Detachment. They do have Saturn in Aquarius. And we are in the Aquarian, Pluto and Aquarius cycle. So the King of Swords is, they make executive decisions. This is a divorce lawyer or divorced husband or, you know, emotional detachment. This is making a rational and logical decision to walk away from a situation that's not conducive to my happiness, my financial success, my peace. This is no more investment. Whatever plans they had, it's kind of gotten disrupted. I think they had a lot of plans, and they had a lot of plans or ideas for their careers. Something happened though, because they had another baby. So you went from all this activity to something suddenly disrupting the relationship. Oh, okay. Uranus is in Taurus, and it makes an opposition to Venus. So when Uranus transits Venus, relationships can start and end really quickly. And I believe that the opposition reached exactitude sometime last year for Cardi B in particular. They both have Venus in Scorpio. So they may have had all these plans, you know, new album, clothing line, businesses, whatever. But something happened that completely offset, no pun intended, well, pun intended. Something happened that completely offset the situation. And it's like, I'm done. I don't know what it was. It could have been affair or cheating, but it was an abrupt halt or an abrupt pivot to a different direction. So they may have had a lot of plans together, like for businesses, real estate, I don't know, new ideas. Lots of communication, lots of plans, lots of goals, but that was flipped. I want to find out what happened, but okay. The future of this relationship within the next 12 months. The future of Cardi B's relationship with her estranged husband, Kiari. What is happening between them? Where will they be in 12 months? Okay, we have the Hierophant and the Two of Swords. They'll still be in limbo about whether or not they want to get this divorce. They don't know. It's because there's still a lot going on. The Ten of Wands is now here. So you go from 8 to 2, which is 6 Wands, but 8 and 2 is 10. The 10 of Wands is like a burden. You know, contracts, loose ends, obligations, kids, real estate, albums, royalties, whatever. The financial aspects of a marriage. They may be working through that now. And with the 7 of Wands, this could be, the divorce could be blocked in some way. I don't see the Ten of Swords. I don't see the Death card. I don't see, and we have the Star card, which is like hopes and wishes. I don't see the Tower. I see cards that indicate that they may try to work on this. It's not going to be cut and dry. So we go from the 2 to the 7, which is 5 Wands, want to fight for this relationship. The 10 of Wands, we got the 8. 10 and 7 is 18. That's 8 Wands. Back to like lots of communication. They could be negotiating, you know, the divorce decree, but the Hierophant usually represents like a commitment, fortifying one's commitment. I think over the next 12 months, because of the space that they have between them, they're going to see things differently. I think Offset may change his ways, or he may, I don't know, he may indicate that he's willing to change, or that he's seen the error of his ways. And Cardi, because Cardi doesn't want a divorce, but at the same time, she's happy either way. That's why she's empowered. She's happy with him or without him. The divine feminine. Because she has everything she needs. She has money. She got the kids. She's in her 30s. She's successful. Nice. She lives in a nice neighborhood. Has millions of dollars. She has freedom. She has power. She has access to other men. Her life is good right now. So that's why she's empowered. Her husband's the one that's struggling right now. And he may end up doubling back to figure this out. I mentioned Martell and Melody. And Martell did try to delay the divorce. What's going on with the Eight of Wands and the Magician card? It's like they had lots of plans. Then we go from the 8 to the 7 to the 10. It's almost like, I don't know, he maybe reminded her of all the plans they had. This is 17 and 8. Right. He may be it's like picking back up where we left off at. But with a different perspective, a new perspective, a renewed sense of commitment, giving him the space to find himself or find his way back to her. That's why I mentioned they were watching each other to make sure that no lines were crossed. Like, okay, you could date other people, but don't fall in love with nobody else. Don't have a kid by somebody else. Something like that, where they're both watching each other. But not, it's like separated but together. Listen, guys. I mentioned this in the Papoose and Remy Ma reading. Please stay away from married people. The divorce is not finalized. Do not fall in love with married people. I don't care if they're separated or not. I don't care. Do not fall in love with married people until the divorce papers are finalized and they've, gotten over their rebound phase. Don't even do it. Because I don't think this is over. I think Cardi B is happy either way. She does want her husband back, but she doesn't want him the way he is. That's why she's a divine feminine. I'm good either way. And he senses that. Now, because when they first got back together, after they separated years ago, she was not in this space. She was still maybe needy or clingy or dependent or whatever, fearful. But now, the 3 kids are there. She's older. She's wiser, more mature. She's in this space. He may start to value or respect her more because she's in her power now. Venus and Scorpio, they value power in their partners. They don't want to see their partners disempowered unless there's an affliction to Venus. But they respect power. I think once he sees that she's okay without him or with him, he'll respect her more. So she's not paying him any mind, no jabs, no subliminals, none of that. But she's still keeping an eye on him. They're both watching each other. What's the Eight of Wands? Cry for the Eight of Wands and the Magician card for the past. Strength card, right. Strength card represents holding things together, business financials, making new business plans. These business plans would make them business partners and they would fortify the marriage. It's almost like, okay, we're married. Let's become a power couple. Let's promote like a TV show or a product line or a new label, whatever. They were making business deals to fortify their marriage financially. Cardi B and both of them value money, but for different reasons. Cardi B wants money to have the agency and control over her life as a woman so that she doesn't have to subject herself to abuse and she can take care of her kids, right? I think Offset wants money for other women. That's basically what most men want money for. Women exchange their sex for money and men exchange their money for sex. So yeah, for different reasons. But I think they were making plans to like, okay, almost like a recommitment ceremony. I'm going to prove to you how much I love you by getting into business with you. If we do this, we'll grow stronger together. We'll be a closer couple if we have a project we're working on together. Something happened to like F that up. Present, currently, 2 of Wands and the King of Swords. What's going on? 2 of Wands, it's like a tower came out with Uranus and Taurus opposing opposing her Venus, and in her 8th house from her sun, which is the house of betrayal, divorce. Like something happened to just flip the switch on this overnight. They were making plans together. Now, Three of Wands reversed. The Page of Swords. Now it's 5. Rumors, other people. No, this is like, yeah. Other people. Cheatations. Philandery. Ten of Swords, betrayal. Right, because they were in a good place. The Moon card, deception. They were in a good place. Emotional betrayal. This, you know. Oh my goodness. Let me relax. Let me relax. Relax. Okay. They were in a really good place. I don't know when this was. A couple years ago before she got pregnant. I don't know when this was. But they were in a good place and they were making plans to like start businesses to fortify their marriage. So they would have like, I don't know, a business that was in both their names, and they would build it together, and it'll be for their kids, like Martell and Melody had. But then Knight of Wands, Ten of Swords, the Moon card. The cheating started. This is infidelity, betrayal, emotional abuse, and it came out of nowhere. Or she found out about it from nowhere. So now there's no more plans here. Three of Wands reverse, no more plans. We're good. Leave me alone. Like everything has got just messed up. Now I will say that Takeoff's murder also happened unexpectedly. Uranus affected this relationship a lot. This could be unexpected pregnancies. This is the death of Takeoff. This is mistresses. Like Cardi B is going through a lot of surprises, nasty surprises in her marriage over the past 8 years. Since 2018. 2018, yeah, 7-8 years. A lot of nasty surprises. So she thinks things are going one way. All these plans, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Then it turns out, okay, Takeoff passes away, unfortunately. And that messes up her husband. And it kind of, you know, dampens the mood. Then, on top of that, the cheating happened. It's like, it's for her, and even for him too. Now, from what I'm looking at, in her chart, when I saw Cardi B's chart, she has a grand cardinal cross. And the grand crosses usually indicate like unexpected changes that force you to pivot or adjust your plans. And this could be for better or for worse, right? Because she's really successful. But something happened. Like she had all these plans. She did. They had all these plans to like build together. But let bygones be bygones. I forgive you for the past. We got 3 babies now. And then this mess pops up. I think that's why she is also so cold and calculated. Because it's like, I can't trust you. This again, like we have so much going for us. She may see him as a liability now. Because he's messing with the money too. His behavior is messing with the money. Clarify the Hierophant and the Two of Swords. Wow, this is just like Martell and Melody. Venus and Scorpio for real. Martell's behavior messed with their money. This is, let me relax. Clarify the Hierophant and the Two of Swords for the future. Why is there conflict about the next steps forward in this relationship? We have Judgment. Not ready yet to make a decision. Not ready yet. The Seven of Pentacles, waiting. Are they waiting each other out? It's almost like a long-term divorce. Like back in the day when couples would get a divorce and like in secret, not get a divorce. They would separate for many, many years and they'd still be divorced they'll still be married 15, 20 years after separation. Because of finances, like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, they were separated for a long time, but they're still married on paper. That kind of energy, like they're trying to wait for things to get better. They don't want this to end, not yet. There is betrayal here. Ten of Swords is betrayal. but it's not the death card. It's not the world card. It's not the tower card. It's almost the world. It's almost there. They're close, but it's almost like the last minute. There could be a last minute save, as long as he doesn't get anybody else pregnant, he's not being messy, or they're watching each other to make sure that this doesn't get out of hand. It's like they're trying to find that they're going. At least one or both of them believes that there's a way back. This can be fixed if somebody changes their behavior. If I give them their space. If, I stop pouring into this. Once they start to appreciate me more, maybe they'll act differently. If I walk away, they'll appreciate me more. And Melody mentioned this too in her marriage. I'm mentioning Melody a lot because she has Venus and Scorpio too. It's kind of similar in a sense. A power couple where the woman is like the primary breadwinner and the man can't get right. But she kind of mentioned that Martell only respected her more after she left, like most men do. Only after she leaves, he sees her differently and now wants to value her. I think Cardi B is giving him time to get it together, as long as he doesn't break the rules. But those rules are unspoken. Don't get nobody else pregnant. Don't do this, that, and the third. Don't mess with the ops, whatever. They have these unspoken rules between them that they're using to control each other or test to see if this relationship is still salvageable at this point. Clarify the Judgment card and the Seven of Pentacles, please. And then I'm going to pull out the Romance Angels card. We have Nine of Cups reverse and the Hermit reverse. Nine of Cups reverse is, justice is the divorce or settlement. Ace of Wands. Okay. So Nine of Cups sometimes indicates a really selfish, self-centered, self-serving energy. And the Hermit reverse is someone who refuses to reflect on that. It seems like someone is becoming aware of or has become aware of how selfish they've been in a relationship. And the scales are being balanced. This may not mean divorce. It could just mean mediation, counseling, therapy. Ace of Wands, a new beginning. Not the Fool card. It's not the World card. They've skipped past that. The Death is not here. The Fool isn't here. The World card isn't here. The Tower isn't here. So it's almost like going to therapy, counseling, going to court, mediation, whatever, to see if we can work this out in a way that is beneficial to both of us. I don't see this being an unhappy ending. I think that the divorce will be delayed for the next year, at least. They're going to do their own things individually, but they're still watching each other. The Seven of Pentacles, they're watching and waiting to see what the other person does. Yeah. There could also be arguments over money, potentially with Seven of Pentacles. But I see this as like maybe them going to counseling instead of going through with a divorce, taking counseling more seriously. The Ace of Wands, a new beginning. That skips over the Fool and the World. So it's like we're going to make a decision to try to work this out within the next 12 months. If I saw the Death card here and or the Tower and or the Four of Swords and or, the World card, the Fool, then I would say, yeah, it's over. But the World and the Fool are being skipped over to try this again. A new cycle is beginning without the old one ending, meaning that this relationship may still be intact within the next 12 months. They may be working things out. They may try to work things out because there's still love here. I think Cardi B is giving Takeoff grace because, not Takeoff, she's giving her estranged husband Offset grace because of Takeoff's death. She's very empathetic towards him. She understands what he's going through, but at the same time, he's like, a drag. He's a drag for her right now. And she wants to be happy and at peace. And he can't give that to her. Or he's actually interfering with her peace. So he has to go. She needs space. All right, Spirit Guides, Archangels, and Divine Messengers. What are the current energies between Offset and Cardi B? What are the current energies between Offset and Cardi B and their relationship? Belcalis, and Kiari. Current energies. Worth waiting for. 7 of Pentacles, right. Passion, make the effort. Exactly. 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like they're trying to wait to see if, you know, the, what's it called? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. The distance will facilitate healing in some way. Cardi B was a crutch for him, and she was making it easier to not do the work to heal on his own. And she had to pull away from him for him to see the error of his ways, right? How he was destroying himself, what he was going to lose if he didn't change. She could not do that if they were in the same house together, in the same bed together, because he was taken her for granted, like Martell was with Melody. So it's like, you won't learn your lesson until you lose me. But I think she's still testing him. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And she's been guided to walk away from this temporarily. But he may think that it's for good. And it can be for good too. Like Cardi B is like, listen, I'm good without you. With or without you. So, you know, I want to be with you. But I'm happy either way. So if you don't get it together, then it's permanently over. So she's giving him time to figure it out. Kind of like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. I'm going to give you time to figure it out. And don't make no mistakes, whatever. Or don't do too much. Now, I'm not saying that she said this to him, but I think that's sort of the intention here is to make him feel what it would be like not to have her in his life, or to get a divorce without actually doing it, to teach him a lesson. But at the same time, if the lesson isn't learned, she'll just go through with the divorce either way. And she's good either way. Like seriously, she's fine. That's why she has power now. And I think Offset will realize this. Like he can't phase her anymore. He can't guilt her. He can't use, you know, her values against her anymore. Because she knows that she's a source of her own power. She's the divine feminine here. How does Cardi B? Okay, soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. I didn't get to ask a question. There's still love there. How does Offset feel about her? Finances and career, financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Is that why he's going after her money with alimony and or child support? Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. She loves him, but you know, men like money to get women. But also, I mentioned earlier, he may be going after her money to control her or to test her. How will Cardi B feel about Offset in 12 months? How will Cardi B feel about her estranged husband in 12 months? How will Belle Khalees feel about Kiari Cephas in 12 months? How will she feel about him in 12 months? Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. How will Offset feel about Cardi B in 12 months? Okay, these came out. Playfulness is safe for you to love. You see how it switched up? Now she's the one that's less receptive. She's the one that's more guarded. And he's playful. It's safe for you to love. To recapture romance, recapture, meaning reconcile, get back his wife. Allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And the fun got sucked out of the relationship at some point with Saturn square Venus. The marriage became one of duty, obligation, but also, you know, the trauma of losing, of Takeoff dying. And it just became whack. The relationship just got really negative and draining for Cardi B. And she felt disempowered. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. And I think here we have for Cardi B, where was this card of receptivity? Was that for her? Trap, distance, withdrawn. Am I seeing this right? Releasing, commitment. We have commitment on her end. Distance, depth, intimacy. Here it is. Open heart. Open your heart. So I think this is where she is now, and this is where he will be in 12 months. Once she walks away and shows him and proves to him that she's okay either way. What will be the status of Cardi B and Offset's relationship in 12 months? Love yourself first. Thank you. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Miss Divine Feminine, I'm the boss. It's my house. Okay? If you want to move in with me, you got to play by the rules to get me. What are the rules? Respect my peace, my home, my space, my body, my money. All this stuff very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now, and free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. And I think Cardi has done this. I think also Cardi Offset's getting control of the demons that's been plaguing this relationship. It could be addictions, it could be depression, it could be infidelity. He's freeing himself of that to regain control of his impulses, his carnal impulses, which may be sabotaging the relationship. So he's starting to reflect back to Cardi B who she's become. She's training him to be, she's training. So, okay. She's becoming the woman she's becoming the woman that he needs her to be a better man. So she's modeling the behaviors, the attitudes, the posture, the disposition, the mindset of the type of man that she wants to be with. She's basically becoming what she wants to attract. And he sees that. Because she's really good. Like I'm getting that she's so self-assured, confident in herself, at peace with whatever's going on. She's not sweating this. Either way, she's good. And he knows this, or he will realize this at the end, towards the end of next year, whenever this happens. But he'll realize that, yeah, she's good with or without me. And that's when he'll try to change course and get this back on track for his sake. Not for hers, because she's okay either way. Now he wants a piece of the action, or he wants to be a part of this energy here. By elevating herself, she's elevating him, in a sense. Okay, Spirit Guides, why did this relationship between Cardi B and Offset go through so many challenges? What was preventing them? Okay, rushing. Yeah, they did rush to get married. They didn't know each other too well. You can't hurry love. The right one is coming in perfect divine timing. 7 of Pentacles. So now she had to wait for Offset to mature to be the man that she needed him to be. Rushing here. She's giving him time to grow up, and he's already in his 30s. But they got married really young, like late 20s. So she's giving him time to grow up. But again, and you know, again, she's giving him grace because he's immature, because of Takeoff's death, because of those factors. She's more patient with him than she would be otherwise. And she does love him too. But I think she's also patient with him because she's good either way. She's not stressed about whatever he's doing anymore. So whether he changes or not, it doesn't make a difference to her. That's why she's empowered. How did Cardi B contribute to the demise of this relationship? Unavailable. You are chasing someone unavailable. He was running from her in some way. He was distant. Or you are the one who's running away. Was running away a part of the issue here? Here we go. Escaping. Running away from the responsibility of becoming a better person. Rejecting. He did not want to heal or become a better man for her. And because she had money and fame and power, he could use those things to offset his own inadequacies. So you make me look good. So I don't have to do any work, right? Women want to be with me because you're my wife. And I have money because of you. So I don't have to change anything. How did Offset contribute to the demise of this relationship? How did Offset contribute to the demise of his marriage with Cardi B? Fear of cheating. Not everyone cheats. You need to open your heart and trust your partner. I think, is he the type to cheat because he doesn't want to be cheated on? Or, you know, he may be the type to cheat because he doesn't want to be cheated on. Or like, again, cheating gives him power. Sex gives him power. I'm going to do it to her before she does it to me kind of energy. Like a lot of men who cheat on their wives, they project that their wives are cheating on them first. Like what Martell was doing with Melody. He was accusing her of cheating and she hadn't done anything while he had a whole girlfriend for 5 years. So this is projection, but also him cheating in the past. It made him insecure, or he did it out of insecurity, which caused him to cheat more. So a lot of men cheat out of insecurity. And this is why I think Cardi B was mad, because things were going so great between them at some point recently, like within the past 2 years, right? They had all these plans. And I think because they were on the up and up and doing so good, Offset sabotaged the situation by cheating on her. Like what Martell did with Melody. They had so many plans to build new this and that. They had a TV show. They had all this stuff coming out. Then he just threw it all away for his mistress. The same thing. This is... it's ridiculous. Any other cards? And then I'm going to call it a day. Yay. Any other cards, please? A lot of men intentionally sabotage their relationships because they feel empowered by doing that. So it's like, I'm going to break up with you or hurt you before you can hurt me. This is going too good. This is too good to be true. Let me, you know, destroy this, because at least I have power over the outcome. If we have all these goals and all these plans, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I might fail. But if I cheat, I at least know what the outcome is going to be in that situation. So it's like getting their power back in some way. Getting some control. Feeling empowered, using sex for power, or to manage feelings of insecurity and like imposter syndrome or fear of failure. Fear of cheating. Not everyone cheats, but he does. So, yeah, he's the one who's cheating because he's afraid of being cheated on. This is why, and that's most men. Like, I'm going to get her before she gets me. And then you end up sabotaging the whole thing. Knight of Wands. Ten of Swords. Just trifling. The Moon card. Because of emotional insecurities. Right? Suspicions. Paranoia. Imposter syndrome, some subconscious, you know, hauntings. Life is too good. Let me fuck it up. Well, you got what you wanted. Now, Cardi B's like whatever. And she really is like whatever. She's not faking it. Okay, what is the current energy between Cardi B and Offset? Advice for their relationship, for them to move forward. Either as a couple or as divorcees. Advice for Cardi B and Offset. And even the audience, if this resonates with you, what advice do we have? We have, am I consistently showing up? Are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Fear of cheating? Are you stalling, freezing, or giving up? The juicy secret is you are the boss of your fear. And Cardi B at some point was afraid of losing what she valued the most. I don't know what that was. I suspect it was money and power. Maybe it was even offset at some point. She was afraid of losing him, but she may now realize that he's already gone, or she doesn't own him, or, she needs to value herself more than she values her husband. You are the boss of your fear. You're unstoppable, but it's up to you to see that by taking action. Today, soul action. Today, be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear and move through it. You are in need of a hero, so that is who you will become as a divine feminine. You're going to become the peace and the power and the love and the value that you seek. You're going to become that yourself. So now you're going to attract that. You're going to be treated the way you treat yourself. And she wasn't doing that initially. He helped her to grow and transform in really important ways. Very painful, but at this point, I think the pain is over, or it's subsiding a lot, because I'm sensing like cool water. This is calm. This is self-care. She's good. Either way. To where does my soul want to travel? When we travel, we grow. We open our little worlds to more adventure, thrills, patience, understanding, trust, and oneness, right? And that is where she is. She trusts herself, and she's at one with her spiritual path, her identity, her life purpose, her value system. She knows who she is. Our hearts and minds expand, and our desires are satisfied. Where is your soul calling you to visit? Pick a location on your desired list. Choose a date when you will get there and start planning. I think this is not just a location, a physical location. I think this is how she wants to feel within herself, within her home, right? With where she lives, but also within her own body. She wants to feel safe and empowered. Create a Pinterest board or start searching on travel sites for the best restaurants. Anything that will create movement to let the universe know you are ready to make it happen. Believe you can. Okay? Do I need one more card? I don't know if I do. I don't think so. I think that's enough for now. It's 1 hour and 7 minutes. All right. Thank you guys for listening. I hope I helped provide more insight into this situation. I look forward to reading your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.